Okay, let's get right to it. Hello everyone. My name is Obianuju Obilor, and one thing I have to say is that I love movie. I don't know about any other person, but I enjoy watching movie. Not every kind of movie obviously, but I love watching movie because for me it teaches me a lot and then it's very entertaining. So last week I did some sort of a review. I'll call it a review, informal review, because I have opinions about a lot of movies that I watch, and I got some comments from people that actually, because of the review that I gave, because of the review, they decided to watch the movie. I wouldn't call it review. I don't want it to seem like this is so formal. This is me just having a having a fun time, just talking about doing something that I love doing. If I'm watching a movie, I'm always talking about it. So it's not like this is an official review, or if I'm saying, oh, don't watch this movie or just watch, I don't, you can watch it or not watch it. As in, whatever you want to do with what I say, this is just me having fun, hoping that I connect with people who also like watching movies as much as I do and who have opinions about some of the movies that they have watched. So the movie I'm going to be reviewing is Afamefuna. Yes, I know that a lot of people have watched this movie and probably moved on to another new movie, but I feel like I need to review this movie because I really enjoyed the movie. So I'm going to be reviewing Afamefuna and Uma Boy story on Netflix. I don't know where else it's streaming, but I watched it on Netflix. So I watched this movie a few days before Easter Sunday with my family, but then I was really busy. I was watching the movie and I was doing other things. So I didn't quite have the time to really watch, especially the beginning, the first half of the movie. I would say I kind of missed out a lot of important details in the first half that the second half didn't quite make much sense to me. And so I was like, I didn't quite enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but I feel like they missed out a lot of points, like a lot of details in it. But I had to, because for the purpose of this review, I decided to rewatch it. And the reason being that I came online on Facebook and I saw a lot of people raving about this movie, giving it 10 over 10. My sisters, my family, they watched it, they were like, it is a 10 over 10, it's even more than that, it's actually beautiful and all that. And I was like, this movie is good, I like it, but it doesn't give me like a 10 over 10. I'll be generous with maybe a 7. So I had to rewatch it from start to the point where I kind of was focused watching the last half of the movie, and I was able to get in a lot of the details that I missed. So I'm going to be sharing those details, and I kind of have a change of heart, not a change of mind or change of opinion with what my ratings were of the movie. So one thing I feel like everyone liked about the movie is the fact that it is centered on the Igbo culture, and I feel like it spoke a lot to a lot of Igbo people, and I love that about the movie as well. So one thing I have to say about this movie is that I love about it is that it is rich in Igbo culture. And I'm talking about the language, the Igbo proverbs used, the attire, the music. It was just rich in Igbo culture. I loved it. I could relate with it. It was just something that feels so familiar. So I love the interpretation, every interpretation of the Igbo culture in that movie. They did a really great job of it. And one thing I have to say about that is that I've noticed, I don't know if anyone else have noticed that, because we're not only reviewing movies, we're also talking, we want to discuss who has noticed that when we act movies in our native language, the actors are able to interpret those movies excellently well compared to in English language. That is my opinion. I feel like the actors were really able to do a good job because they were speaking their own language. And I feel like language goes beyond just speaking it. An American person can decide to learn the Igbo language, but she won't be able to speak or relate with that language as much as someone that is a native. There are some jokes in Igbo language, proverbs, there are some, I don't even want to call it slangs, that you grew up with, that someone that just came to learn the language cannot. Language comes with, for me, I feel like language comes with feelings and emotions and all that some people miss out if they weren't born into that language. So but anyways, I'm not a linguist or I'm not a language person, but I feel like the movie The language, the Igbo language used in the movie enabled the actors to actually do so well in interpreting their roles within the movie, and I love that about the movie. The second thing, we've talked about language, the Igbo culture, the richness of the Igbo culture within the movie. The next thing I want to talk about is the art, is the actor, like the actors and the actresses in the movie. Without being as insane a lot, I feel like everyone would say that they did an amazing job. I've said it before, I don't know if it is the language, or if it is because they're doing something that is familiar to them. I don't know what it is, but they really did an excellent job. I like when I'm watching movie, it is very natural to me. I don't like movies that I can't relate with. Like my emotions is here, the emotion that the movie is trying to portray is the other way. I don't like it. I like to feel what the actors are feeling, their happiness, their sadness, their whatever emotions they are feeling. I like to feel it, and the actors did an amazing job interpreting their roles. Paul Obiajoro, which was played by Alex Ekuba. I feel like I've watched a lot of Alex Ekuba's movies. I mean, he's a great actor, I would say. He's funny in his own way. But this is his first movie that I'm like, Alex Ekuba, he did an amazing job, like, acting this movie. You all could agree with me, but this is my opinion. He's an amazing actor, even before the movie, but he did excellently well interpreting his role in this movie. I don't think there was anyone that is suitable enough to have interpreted the role of Paul Obiajoro as well as Alex did. And I'm not talking about just Alex Ekuba, but also the younger version of Paul Obiajoro. They did a really good job interpreting their role. And yeah, and then another one is Shogun Arinze. All of these things are in no particular order. All of these names I'm calling now are in no particular order. Shogun Arinze and Kanayo Okanayo. Oh my god, those two are phenomenal actors. Evergreen, as it is, like, I just love watching them. Like, they just did an excellent job, just for lack of better use of word. I just love watching those, like seeing them in those movies. Shogun Arinze, I watched his movies growing up, and I know the name, but I never knew that I never understand the Arinze part in his name, because I'm like, is he Igbo, is he Hausa, is he Yoruba, whatever. I wasn't sure. I'm like, okay, but this movie, hearing him speak Igbo for the first time, I don't know if this is true for other movies that he's been in, but I feel like this is the first time I'm hearing Shogun Arinze speak Igbo. He's always had this impeccable English that he speaks in all his movies. I love how he speaks English. But the way he spoke Igbo, it just amazed me. I'm like, how did he even do that? I'm not saying that he didn't grow up as an Igbo person. I'm just saying that he had this like Hausa is it accent that he did in the movie, and then he also spoke Igbo and all that. It's and English as well. I mean, I feel like he's what you call an actor, being able to interpret all of those things. So I really love that about him. Kanaya did a great job, an excellent job. He was the perfect person for that role. You would have thought that the person that would act that would be Pete Edochie. I see Pete Edochie also doing the same thing that Kanaya did in that movie and doing it really well. But Kanaya did excellently. I love, like, he did well interpreting his role, the Igbo part of it. He, as in, like, the Igbo language that he spoke in the movie, just everything. He was the same, like his character was the same from start to finish, and that is one thing I have to say about this movie. And for well, throughout the movie, everyone maintained their character. Even when the younger version of their character transitioned into the older version, they were able to maintain the character. And that is something that you hardly see in Nollywood. I am sad to say, I see it a lot in Hollywood, but in Nollywood, sometimes there is this, how do I put it? I don't even know how to, I don't even say it's divergence. It's like the character is like this in one part of the movie, and then they do this in the other part, they do another way in another part. But all of these people maintained the characters kind of maintained they all maintain their character from start to finish of the movie, and I love that. Let's talk about the main person in the movie, Afamefuna, Stan Nze. He did awesome, amazing. Like, I have no better adjectives for these people. These are all the adjectives in me, and because this is nothing formal, you guys are gonna have to make do with it. But Stan Nze did an excellent job. The younger version is let me talk about the younger version first. So the younger version of Afamefuna, what's his name? Younger Afamefuna, he has, sorry, I'm reading from my book, I just don't want to have to forget, but there is this youthful innocence that the younger version of Afamefuna, this naivety that he had, as in throughout the movie, like the one that he did, like his younger version, that it was very cute, honestly. They wanted him to be naive. They wanted him to look like someone that is clueless. They wanted him to be honest as well. And he was able to, like, he ate his role and left no crumbs. I have to be honest with that. This is what I call, like, being a great actor. And I just hope that Hollywood will be able to see all these, as in for all the, especially younger versions, whom I know, which I know that they're not like popular stars in the Nollywood industry. I hope that they're able to look into them and kind of put them into different movies that they can feature in on acting. So, but yeah, he didn't even need to try so hard. His facial expression just did the job for him. He was just so natural. He was just in the acting. I just love it. And then, yeah, let's talk about Amaka Okoli. Played by Atlanta Bridget Johnson. Like I said, I don't need to repeat it again. Every actor and actresses in the Afamefuna movie, they all did an excellent job, and I just love their interpretation of each of their roles, even as from their younger version to their older version, they did a really great job. But yeah, the one part I love about that lady is so natural in her acting. She doesn't need to try so hard to show her emotions, even if it is smiling or laughing or crying or talking. She's just natural. I just love that. Like, I just love that about her movies. So I don't know about any other person, but for me, the part that I love so much, like the part that I love so much about her that particular movie, was when she cried when she found out that that Afamefuna isn't the father of her child. So she didn't know that Amafune, and this is, sorry, spoiler alert, but I'm pretty sure everyone has watched this movie. So I'm not pretty sure, but I feel like everyone has watched this movie. But yeah, when she cried, God, I could actually feel that emotion with her. I could, like, I don't know if that is the same for everyone, but I could feel her pain. I could feel, as in the sadness in her, like, I could just, it was like, I felt everything that she felt, that she was feeling, or whatever she was acting. I felt everything Amaka Okoli was feeling, and that is acting for me. I don't know about any other person, but that was like the part that she acted in that movie that was like, I just love it. I could go back and watch it 100 times, believe you me. So yeah, it's she did a good job. And then she did an excellent job. So I've been raving about this movie, the acting, the storyline, the how rich it is in the Igbo culture. I mean, these are all the stuff that I love about the movie. But obviously, there are some things about a movie that you probably wouldn't like, and there are some that I didn't like. I feel like there are some stuff in the movie that, I don't know, not was neglected. I mean, they acted the movie the way they want to act the movie, but it kind of brought in some confusion in me. And I feel like I don't know if it brought any confusion in someone that is probably not an Igbo person, or probably that doesn't know the story of how the story about what happened after the war for Igbo businessman. I don't know how it is, as in, I don't know if anyone was as confused as I am, but I'm going to say something that is the confusion that I had with the movie, especially since they wanted to tell the story about the Uma Boy apprenticeship, like the Uma Boy, the apprenticeship system. The one thing that I didn't quite understand, which is the question I have. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to ask this question, or I'm going to kind of talk through the things that I'm wondering, and then if anyone has the answer to that, they can put it down in the comment section. That would really do me well to kind of satisfy my curiosity. So I feel like if there are more resources that was actually dedicated to this movie to tell this story, it should have started from after the war. Like the movie should have started from after the war. Why I say so is because I'm trying to understand the Igbo apprenticeship story. I grew up knowing knowing some Uma boys, but I don't even understand how that came up to be. Yes, I wanted to know, I guess what I wanted to know is, did this Igbo apprenticeship story start after the Civil War? Is this something that came out of necessity? You know how they say necessity is mother of invention? Was it the strategy that the Igbo people were trying to use to be able to still grow successful in their business after the war, since they didn't have the monetary resources that they should after the war? Or was it something that has been happening before the war that they actually continued doing? Because the way I would interpret it is this. I would say that yes, they were given £20 to start, and that is why, because they didn't have a lot, they had to rely strongly on each other. The Igbo people had to rely strongly on each other, and decided to, you know what, let's have this strategy whereby we have Uma Boy or whatever that would work for us, and then from there we're going to train, we're gonna train them and then set them up and set them up for success, settle them and set them up for them to have their own businesses, and in turn that they would come back and also be helping us with our own business, you know, all this, like a system, they develop a system built on strategy to help them to succeed. That's what I interpreted from the story. I don't know the actress, or I know that they are Uma Boy. I grew up knowing a lot, but I didn't quite understand the story or the roots of the story. And I thought that's what the movie was supposed to talk about, not just telling the story, but actually acting the story. I feel like it would have actually benefited from more acting, for people to understand the root cause, why, when did the Uma Boy apprenticeship start, and for what reason, you know. But that is just me. I don't know about anybody, but I'm not gonna stress that. But that is one thing I felt, that the movie, there was a lot of stories told in the movie that were supposed to be acted. Even if the movie was set in this current era, I feel like when Kanara was telling that story, there should be a you know how they act something, flashback of something that would have a different era after the war. That is me. I'm not saying that is what it's supposed to be, but I feel like that should have actually told us the reason why the Igbos are the way they are, and how the apprenticeship business, the system came about, you know. Those are the things I'm wondering. And I think the last thing that I feel was the thing that is a weakness in the movie with one of the actors, and that is with Paul's character. Is, yes, I mentioned earlier that there was a lot of consistency, but for the Paul character, I feel like there were no consistency from the younger version of Paul and the older version of Paul. The younger version of Paul, to me, seemed like someone that was very industrious. Yes, he has a sweet tongue that makes him to get customers and all that. Yes, he probably kept maybe some friends, some social crowd that weren't, should I say, that was a little bit rough, or some of the maybe bad guys or whatever. But he was actually a nice person. Paul was actually a nice person. The younger version of him was actually nice. So when he grew up, when they had to transition from the younger version to the older version and made him to be the bad guy, he grew into something I don't know, but for me, I feel like there wasn't a lot of consistency. You know the guy that played Obum in the movie, the short guy that was charging 7,000 naira while the cost of the product was actually 3,000 naira. The guy that played Obum in the movie, the short guy with short temper. I feel like if it was the one that they told me is the younger version of Paul that grew up to be the older version of Paul, I would believe that. But the younger version of Paul that grew up to be the older version, I feel like there is not a consistency with that transition. So that is one thing that I know people can change, obviously, but I believe in movies there should be consistency in characterization. Like for the characters, there should be consistency. If there won't be, if they feel that Paul, the younger version of Paul, grew up to be a bad version, as in a bad person in the older version, they should give us the reason why. I did not see anything in the younger version that would say that he grew up to be someone to be the older version that was really jealous, that was really promiscuous, that was stealing money, deceiving the Oga's daughter, Amako Kodi. So I don't know about any other person, but these are the three things that I feel that are some of the weaknesses that I noticed in the movie. But overall, I would say the movie is very interesting. As in, it was really good to watch. It was really fun to watch. The what do you call it? The storyline was good. The storyline was well interpreted. The actors were top notch. Honestly, I would rate them 110 over 100. They did amazing. All of them, even the minor roles, they did amazing, excellently well. Great acting. I felt the emotions of all the actors and actresses, very relatable and original. I will give it to them. I would say that this movie may not be Nollywood's masterpiece as people are raving, saying that it is. Oh my God, it is good, it is great, it is engaging, it is thoroughly entertaining and beautiful. Like, the story was beautifully told, but I wouldn't say it is one of Nollywood's masterpiece. And I feel like it should have been, to be quite frank, I feel like the movie should have been Nollywood masterpiece, because it was telling a story that actually happened to people. Like, it was supposed, those story I feel should have been acted rather than being told within the movie. The story should have been centered. The Igbo apprenticeship story, the Nwa boy story, is supposed to be the major theme of the acting in the movie. And that's why I felt like it should have started from after the war. Like, right after the war. Like, this movie should have been right after the war, and tell us the story as to how the Igbo people came up with this strategy, or what drove the strategy, or the reason for the strategy, whatever, and not the way it was acted. I feel like the story about Afamefuna taking the wife, the other story that happens, the jealousy, the paternity confusion or whatever, were just movie fillers. For me, they were movie fillers. Those are not they are not part of the story. I feel like they're not part of the major story that should have been acted. But yeah, again, not Nollywood's masterpiece, but very engaging, thoroughly, as in entertaining, as in well acted. I love it. And yes, I said that this is not an official thing. It's just me engaging with people that also like to watch movie and also have opinion about the movie that they watch. And I have a lot of opinions about movies that I do watch, and these are one of it. This is one of it. So I will rate this movie an 8 over 10. I know people were like, no, it's a 10 over 10, but I'll rate it 8 over 10 because of these other things that I mentioned. So that's it. Well, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comment section. I know this movie is well overdue and people have moved on to more watching other movies that have come up, but I'm just leaving this review right here just in case someone else wants to kind of, I don't know, hear them. But again, if you'd like to get more movie reviews, just let me know. Send me the movies that you want me to watch and review, some of the movies that you enjoy and you have opinion about and you wonder what my opinion is. on them, let me know in the comment section and I'll be happy to share them. I'll be happy to watch and share them. Obviously I can't watch everyone's recommendation, but I can pick one of them, watch and share my opinion on that. Till next time, see ya, bye.